Good morning, Williams Qrew. It's Q back with another video for the channel. Today is Motivational Mindset Monday, and I'm here to just drop some gems on you just to carry you through the rest of your day and the rest of the week. So the topic for today is let's get organized in this new year. So I'm going to jump in and tell you some key points to help get organized and prioritize things that may have come up in our lives that may seem to always take priorities. So if you're interested in getting these key points, make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video and make sure to comment, because I always want to know what you have to say. Like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you for joining me today. So let's hop right in the video. So as stated in my intro, I'm going to give you some key points to organize your life in this new year, because as an adult, I understand what it's like to always have a million and one things come up, and it just seems like everything always is a priority. But I have learned throughout the last couple years that everything isn't a priority, and how to prioritize what's important in those things that are not. So the first key point is identifying your priorities. What is something that's important? So to break this question down, priorities, you can list them out by what's urgent to what's not urgent. Now, if there's something that needs your attention right away, that is a priority. If you need to make your child's soccer game or have to turn in paperwork by the next morning for your office, well, your child's game is going to be the priority, because after that you can do that work either later that night or get up earlier that day to complete it. So just knowing your priorities can help you so much. Now, I can't tell you exactly what your priorities are, but I know for me, the things that I need to do in the next 24 hours, those are my priorities. Now, the things that are after those 24 hours, they are still on my list, but they're not as prioritized as those in the 24 hours that I have. So the things after 24 hours, then I can group those together and knock those out accordingly. So like I stated, 24 hours, if that has to be done within that time frame, those are your priorities. I know it is for me, because I know 24 hours, that's the next day. I have to get it done. So prioritize those that need to be done and then go about it that way. Now, like I stated, the ones past 24 hours, those still you can prioritize, because they may have an expiration of 36 hours, 72 hours. Knowing how to prioritize those as well will help you to be less overwhelmed. So after you have listed your priorities that are in a time management time frame, see what is an emergency. Now, like I stated, everything does not have to be jumped on right away. One thing that I was taught in one of my jobs, that everything isn't an emergency. Just because somebody was like, I need X, Y, and Z and stuff like that, it didn't make it an emergency, because some things can wait. Other things take ownership over others because how important they are. If I have to, go to a concert tonight, or, get an oil change so I can go to work tomorrow, the oil change is going to take priority over it, because if I don't get the oil change, I won't be able to go to work or that concert. So I guess if you can understand those terms, what I'm saying is one thing has to get done first before others can. So that's another way to look at it when you prioritize your list. Now, I've already stated with the last two key points of 1, what are your priorities, and 2, everything isn't an emergency, but 3 helps to tie those things in by making the list. So I don't know if you're like me or however your learning technique is, but I'm a visual person. I have to see it so I can understand it, and I'm a hands-on person. So once I see it and I can apply it for myself, then it just clicks like that. So Me, I always make lists. Like, I have to make one. Sometimes when I cook, I have to write down what I'm going to cook because I will forget sometimes. So that's just my way of keeping up with what I'm going to cook. Like, certain nights, you know, I can understand what I'm going to do, but when I want to make like an extravagant meal or something like that, I need to write it down. Also, with appointments, I have to write those down because I will forget like crazy. So that's another thing as well that has helped me making lists, getting planners. Okay, so with planners, if you're gonna get one, make sure it's very detailed. I have one that I keep a list of all our bills in, keep track of the due dates, how much, and how much of a balance that is left on like certain payments or credit cards or whatever it is. That's just how I track, so I can know. So when I open up to the month of January, February, I can see, okay, this bill is, because, you know, life goes on each day, so I don't remember each time. I know the first of the month the rent is due, so I always know that, you know, it's in some songs and everything like that, so you can never forget that. But I'm just saying other tedious bills that may not seem as fluent, you know, so I write those down and I'm able to visualize, okay, today's the 15th, this bill is due, that bill is due. I can see it. So making a list for these priorities is so important because, like I said, we get so caught up in everything else, we lose sight of what's important. Now, while you're making a list for priorities for you to do in your life, make yourself a priority as well to organize. Organize yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all things around, financially, whatever it is. Prioritize yourself because you only get one you. If you're burnt out in a certain area, work on that area so you can get back to 100%. You cannot be everything for everybody or yourself if you're not at 100%. So prioritize yourself. What are some things that you like to do? You know, do you like to buy yourself flowers, buy yourself your favorite candy, whatever it is? Prioritize yourself to get yourself back to 100%. Because if you don't, everything that I'm saying will not be able to be applied for you to prioritize your life. My last key point for today is set aside time. Whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, set aside time for you to get you and everything else together. So this is also an important factor because if you don't have that time to set aside to get yourself organized, to create those to-do lists, those priority lists, then all the information I just gave, you know, is really invalid. So you need to be able to set aside time, whether it's getting up 10 minutes early or going to bed 10 minutes later. Find time to set aside to get you back to you. Because this year, as we know, last year it was something, so we don't know what to expect in this year. But I'm expecting great things, so prioritize great things. Allow yourself to set aside time to get back to you, back to your lifestyle, back to everything that you need and want to do with yourself. Set aside that time to read a book at night. If that's going to help you out, set aside 10 minutes during your day to prioritize your finances, to prioritize, you know, what you have to do for the next day. Whatever it is that you need to do to get back organized with yourself and with your own life. Like, I understand adulthood is something, but I've been, you know, being consistent with working on myself, trying to prioritize my life. You know, it starts with you. So if I'm not together, everything else around me won't be together. So that's how I figure it to, you know, get myself organized so I can, you know, unload myself and just figure out what works for me, what doesn't work for me. So those are my 5 key points for today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you're able to use them and to apply them to your everyday life. I understand life can, you know, throw so many curveballs, but being able to be organized with yourself and prioritize your life, it's so important. Like, I'm telling you, I was at a point a few months ago where I felt like I was all over the place. Like everything was all over the place. Like I couldn't think right. I couldn't think for nothing. So I dropped everything and just did a restart on myself. And I've been working to, you know, on myself to get, you know, I can't preach something if I'm not taking my own advice. So over the last, I believe it's been 4 months, I've just been getting myself together, working on each key component to, you know, bring myself back to 100%. And I honestly can say that I'm at that point where I feel good about everything that's going on with me, everything around me. Like I stated, you have to prioritize, but first it has to start with yourself. So go buy yourself some flowers today. Go buy yourself, you know, your favorite meal. Whatever it is, go do it, because like I said, you only get one you. And, you know, sometimes you have to spoil yourself as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, you know, take time for yourself. And I hope you can really, really understand the information so you can apply it and just become, you know, a better version of yourself. That's my main whole goal with my Motivational Mindset Mondays, is just to apply information for you to kind of get and grasp. And, you know, like I always say, let's all become better together. Let's all win this year. So much negativity in the world. Let's just all lift each other up. So make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button. I will also drop a dialogue in the comment section, so make sure you dialogue with me. But until next time, I hope you enjoyed. But always, until next time, guys, peace.